Hillcrest volleyball.
Yep.
And again, I was sitting right next to the booth where you had all your stuff set up. And just watching you set up all that equipment, I thought, oh my gosh, he puts in a full day and then
Does that.
comes and does that. My goodness. Wow. My hat is off to you.
Yeah, Derek and I left the conference early yesterday. He was working in Underwood. I was working in Ashby. And
I'm so glad I don't know how to run any of that equipment.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, you guys didn't
sometimes
need it on Monday with you and Brady.
Ignorance is bliss. No, we didn't. I wasn't on camera on. We weren't on Monday, which was okay with me. I kind of don't care one way or the other. But yeah, and it was fun to have Brady on the air. We had some fun. We did some look backs. He always has some ideas about. We talked about nostalgia kinds of things. You know, he's way closer to me in age than you are, and so we think back. You know, remember when this, or remember when we had that. You know, or and it's kind of funny to think back on some of those things. We were talking about, you know, sitting by the TV and then fighting over which of us would have to get up and go turn the channel.
Oh, I remember doing that.
Do you?
Yep.
Oh my goodness. But there were a couple of other things I can't even remember now what we talked about. But yeah, we always have a good time, and hopefully you had a good time where you were and learned a few things, picked up a few new tricks, and we held down the office. Well, kinda. We were the only two people in the whole building on Monday.
And then
Brady was the only one yesterday. We played a best of show here, one from last week, and so I didn't really even have a need to come here. So you guys gave me the morning off, so thanks for that. That was kind of nice.
Yeah, it was.
I drank a couple more cups of coffee before I left for work. So
it was one of those things where I still got up at the same time because all the stuff started at 9 o'clock. So got up, got down, got some breakfast about 20 after 8, and then kind of waddled my way over to the conference room. And
all right. Well, anyway, good to have you back.
Oh, yeah.
And hopefully we held down the house. And wasn't able to hear the end of the Hillcrest game last night.
Okay.
So how did that turn out?
Well, they swept.
Okay. All right. I was kind of thinking that's the way it was going to go. But
Hillcrest has a very good volleyball team.
they do have a very good volleyball team, and it's a lot of fun to watch. I've got my granddaughter plays C Squad, so it's really been fun because C Squad is considered, you know, part of the high school team, and she's only an 8th grader, but it's really been fun because the crowd and the atmosphere is so different than when it was junior high volleyball. It was only the parents who came, maybe some grandparents. But when it's considered the high school game and the C Squad game, I mean, there's concessions and there's, you know, the people are coming for the varsity game. And I think it's more fun for the girls to play too, you know, have a bit of a crowd there. So anyway, we had some fun, headed to Ashby. I was amazed at how fast I could get to Ashby. I never think about how far away that was, and it was a very pretty drive. I went to Dalton and then, you know, down to Ashby, and just really pretty. So it was a good day for that. All right. Well, you didn't miss anything around here, I guess. The news basically is the same. However, there is breaking news this morning. There was a shooting. I believe it was at an ICE detention facility, and that was in Texas, I believe. And I suppose this will be a top news story. So let me. Okay, so there is an update on now it says deadly shooting. When I was tuned in this morning, they didn't know exactly what was happening. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to bring up video, but anyway, they do have the suspect actually took his own life, and it sounds like there were 2 fatalities, at least when I read about that earlier today, and you can look that up because this is a video rather than a story, but happened in Dallas at an ICE facility. And I don't know if this has been updated, but it sounded like they were two of the detainees that had been shot and killed.
It says the sniper died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound early Wednesday morning after he shot 3 ICE detainees at a Dallas ICE facility from a rooftop, according to law enforcement. Officials confirmed 2 of the ICE detainees have died. The third was rushed to the hospital in critical condition. Police sources say the sniper, identified as a white male, was armed with a rifle on a roof. He shot himself as agents approached. That's all we know for now.
Happened about 7:30 this morning Central Time. So there's a lot.
This one says 6:40.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
this is from Dallas.
Okay. Fox News had reported it as 7:30. So it doesn't make any difference when it happened.
Yep.
It's anyway, just another unfortunate shooting around an ICE facility, a detention facility. And now we're talking about yet another sniper. So now, is that what we have to watch for? Do we have to take a look at all the rooftops everywhere? How is this going to stop? They keep talking about, the left and these sanctuary cities. They really have to stop talking about, all of their awful rhetoric about detaining and deporting criminals who are illegally in this country who need to go back to their own countries. And they're making such a big deal out of it, and the rhetoric is so awful. And I don't know about you, but it certainly has, I think it certainly has a lot to do with why we're seeing this kind of attack on ICE agents and law enforcement, up over 1,000%. That's a big number. So, here's people who are trying to do their jobs, and then the governor of the state of California says, take your masks off. Really? So you'd like more people to have more violence against them? I don't know what he's thinking, and I don't know why anyone on the left thinks that violence is a good idea, but he's the guy, one of the guys, who is really, really ramping it up and stirring the pot, if you ask me. Okay, also last night, Jimmy Kimmel, he wasn't gone for very long. He was back on the air, facing backlash, though, from conservatives on social media after he came on last night and attempted to clarify his remarks about the assassination of Turning Point USA founder Charlie Kirk. And he appeared to be emotional. It didn't look very real to me. Mm-hmm. It looked like, okay, I have to walk back some of my remarks. He even went so far as to applaud Charlie Kirk's widow for having said she has forgiven the shooter. He made a big deal of that, and he went on to say that he's praying for their family, and I don't know. Some of that was a little hard to take and a little hard to swallow and believe after what he said immediately following Charlie Kirk's death. Well, anyway, it's the first show Kimmel has hosted since his return, nearly a week off the air, not quite. And he said this, I've been hearing a lot about what I need to say and do tonight, and the truth is, I don't think what I have to say is going to make much of a difference. If you like me, you like me. If you don't, you don't. I have no illusion about changing anyone's mind, but I want to make something clear because it's important to me as a human, and that is that you understand that it was never my intention to make light of the murder of a young man. Kimmel began tearing up, and this is where it got, I thought, this seems a little forced. Anyway, he said that he had posted a message to Instagram sending love to Kirk's family on the day of his death. He said, nor was it my intention to blame any specific group for the actions. It was a deeply disturbed individual. That was really the opposite of the point I was trying to make. But I understand that to some it felt ill-timed or unclear or maybe both. And for those who think I did point a finger, I get why you're upset. If the situation was reversed, there's a good chance I would have felt the same way. So he really walked it back. Now, even though ABC allowed him back on the air last night, There were two big companies.
Sinclair and I want to say Nexstar.
Nexstar, yep.
So those two.
And both of those said, nope, none of our affiliates are going to run his show. And I think it's 60-some affiliates that decided, nope, we're not going to do that. But I'm so happy about that. But I do think that this is not a government decision.
No, it's got to be a corporate
It's
decision.
a corporate decision. And I don't think that President Trump ought to be weighing in and putting pressure on ABC.
Absolutely not.
As much as I would like to see Jimmy Kimmel off the air altogether, it's not President Trump's job to take care of whether or not he's on the air. There does come a point where government, oh my goodness, just go do something else. I mean, there's so much on your plates, you don't need to worry about Jimmy Kimmel.
And I guess you and I probably get it a little bit more because of what we do for a living.
Maybe.
We work for communications. We know that there are some things you can say and some things you can't say on the air. And we walk a fine line between sponsors and ownership and management. And it's I think we get it a little bit more that it has to be a corporate decision, not a government decision.
Right. So let's say that you or I or us together said something that all of a sudden caused a big flare up, and President Trump called our ownership in Detroit Lakes and said, nah, these two, we're going to put pressure on you till you take these two knuckleheads off the air. And our ownership could tell the president to pound sand. I mean, really, because it's his business.
Yep.
And there shouldn't be government pressure for those kinds of things. Now, do I agree with what Jimmy Kimmel said? Absolutely not. Is he terrible on the air?
Yep.
You bet. And here's the bottom line. This guy wasn't taken off the air so much for the pressure on ABC from the FCC and ultimately government, but
it was the affiliates.
It was the affiliates, and this guy has been losing something like $40 million a year on his show.
That's Colbert.
But it's in the 40s for Jimmy Kimmel too.
Oh wow!
I mean, it's just not a show that anybody's watching anymore.
He's definitely been hemorrhaging watchers. When he first started, I watched him because he was funny, but didn't really get into that political thing. But like during Trump's first term, it's like everything just changed, and it's like, I don't want to watch this.
No, and I forget who said this, and I've said it on this air before, but they said, he's failing in the ratings because nobody wants to see the DNC on ABC.
Yep.
Because that's basically that's the line he's taking.
Yep.
All right, President Trump used his speech at the UN General Assembly Tuesday to sharply criticize immigration policies and renewable energy efforts in Europe. He called climate change the greatest con job ever. Oh, boy. And warned that open borders and suicidal energy ideas could bring down Western nations. He said Europe is in serious trouble and told the delegates, your countries are going to hell. This guy he does not spare any words. And I don't know if you saw this yesterday, but so Saudi Arabia, when they come to the United States, did you see what he said to them?
No, because I was in meetings and then traveling.
They are not allowed at Costco. Isn't that hilarious? Okay, so Mark, Lee Van Camp, and Rahman were making huge fun of this yesterday. He said, nope, you people who are in power in your country, you have so many people in your country who are starving, they don't have food and water, and you guys are coming to the United States to buy cheap diamonds at Costco, and we won't allow it. You are not allowed to come to our country and buy luxury items when your people in your country are starving and dying from having no clean water. So he said, nope, you can't go to Costco. Anyway. So,
I was going to say, they must have better Costcos than we got around here because I don't see diamonds.
They've got diamonds.
Do they?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
And then the other thing was you can't buy a luxury car. You can't buy a car over $60,000. Anyway, there was like 3-4 of those things. He said, listen, we're not going to allow you to come to this country and spend your country's money on lavish things when your own people in your country are starving. And I thought, good for you.
But we'll buy your oil.
Yeah, well, because we have to?
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, when we come back, oh boy, many Americans going to pay more to heat their homes this winter. We'll tell you about that. And Americans are slashing subscriptions as costs rise, cutting services by 32% in 1 year. We'll tell you about that when we come back on Morning Talk.
Back with more Morning Talk with Mary Dolan and Dave Bishop. Brought to you by Pioneer Care and Fergus Falls Monument Company. After the markets on News Talk 1250 KBRF. Depend on it.
Community is important, and you'll find it at Pioneer Point. Spacious apartments, thoughtfully designed for older adults, provide the best in senior living. Heated parking and elevator access makes life easy. Your neighbors at Pioneer Point hold a welcoming, family-like approach to living. Choosing from an array of special features and options, you'll find many ways to define your lifestyle at Pioneer Point. Call or schedule your tour online today at pioneercare.org.
Hey, it's Rick. I'm out here fixing the roads you drive on every day. When you speed through a work zone, you're not just risking a ticket, you're risking my life. I've got a family to go home to, just like you. So slow down, stay off your phone, and follow the signs. Help us get the job done and get home safe. We're out here for you. Be there for us. This message brought to you by the Minnesota Department of Transportation, the Minnesota Broadcasters Association, and this station.
This fall, power crop performance with Titan XC. This biocatalyst optimizes the breakdown of your dry fertilizer for increased nutrient availability and uptake, maximizing yield even with variable weather, prices, or soil types. Visit lovelandproducts.com/TitanXC or contact your local Nutrient Ag Solutions crop consultant to learn more.
Get the latest in ag information and market updates with the Red River Farm Network. Monday through Friday, News Talk 1250 AM KBRF. Depend on it.
Good morning, 9:30 market update time here on the Red River Farm Network. I'm Tyler Donaldson. Grains markets continuing to trade mixed. Soybean, all three soybean contracts, a penny and a half or so higher. Corn Belt marketing market analyst Sam Hudson says the grains are trading a bit mixed here today, looking for some fresh news to trade off of.
You're seeing harvest expand, and with that, we're seeing an expansion in open interest, and that depth may make it a little bit harder to get kind of a big futures move without some sort of USDA shock, and that next report will be on the 9th. So at this point, what I'm watching is to see if the December corn market can find some ability to levitate above the 100-day moving average leading up to that. I think there's still some wide speculation about yields probably coming down, but the pace of that is going to be critical to price discovery. And at the end of the day, we talk about coming down from a 188 or wherever we traded it to, and it's still going to equate to a big crop where we've got to get a lot of the overrun supplies out of the way and kind of those necessity sales.
Cattle markets all trading lower pretty much across the board. Feeders anywhere from 2 cents to $1.65 lower here. Hudson saying cattle markets continuing to follow the cash trade.
A little ahead of the skis maybe here after Monday, Tuesday trade. Definitely some screw reaction, if you want to call it that, from the headlines. Cash trade is still going to be kind of top of mind here as we get into the fourth quarter, and from an economic standpoint, and also border control. So keep an eye on those headlines. Obviously, a lot of work being done to combat that and create some contentment in the marketplace. But until we see that flow open up again, I just continue to watch some spreads for clues and direction. Big wide trading ranges, I think, are next.
Reporting agriculture's business, you're listening to the Red River Farm Network.
This is the Soil Fertility Minute, brought to you by the Agriculture, Fertilizer Research and Education Council. Our guest is University of Minnesota Extension Northwest Research and Outreach Center Specialist, Dr. Lindsay Pease.
A lot of farmers thinking about experimenting with different tillage strategies or adding a cover crop. When you do that, you're going to leave a lot more crop residue on the soil surface. We were wondering how that extra residue affected soil nitrogen availability. We've been tracking the nitrogen, in our conventional tillage plots and strip tillage plots, both with and without cover crops. And the good news is that the extra residue at the soil surface does not look to be affecting the nitrogen availability, especially early in the growing season, and the yields come back much the same in all the systems. Residue management in the spring, particularly making sure that cover crop is terminated in a timely manner before it reaches root stage, definitely is much more important than how much nitrogen you've applied.
AFREC is a farmer-led program advancing soil fertility research. Find out more at mnsoilfertility.com. Harvest Hotline brings you daily updates with farmers, custom harvesters, elevator managers, and more. Get the latest on harvest progress, yields, and what's happening in the field. Harvest Hotline can be heard weekdays at 12:37 during Agriculture Today. Harvest Hotline brought to you by Ag Country Farm Credit Services, Amity Technology, North Dakota Mill, and U.S. Custom Harvesters. We're the Red River Farm Network, reporting agriculture's business.
Thanks to the American farmer for putting food on the plate, clothes on our back, and fuel in our tank. Your work is measured in acres, not hours. The Red River Farm Network is here to deliver farm news, markets, and weather information to the best farmers in the business. From Rugby to Benson and Roseau to Aberdeen, the Red River Farm Network covers agriculture. Go online to rrfn.com to find your local Red River Farm Network radio station. Podcasts are also available online at rrfn.com, iTunes, Google Play, and Spotify.
Checking quotes, December Minneapolis wheat's a 1/4 cent lower, 567.5. Chicago December wheat's up 1 1/4 cents to 521 3/4. KC hard red winter wheat's a 1.5 lower at 510 even. December corn 1 1/4 down to 425 even. November soybeans are up a penny right now, 10.13. November canola is up $2.40 per metric ton, 6.20 Canadian. October live cattle 80 cents lower at 234.80. September feeders are up 25 cents to 365.10. October hogs are 87 cents lower at 99.65. Reporting agriculture's business, you're listening to the Red River Farm Network.
Join the team at Easy Open Garage Doors. They're hiring a full-time service tech in Fergus Falls. Paid training, great benefits, no weekends. Call 218-770-1305 to apply and start your next career move today with Easy Open Garage Doors.
What's the ox say?
Today on Hot Talk with the Ox. Right away, hear reactions and share yours on the sentencing of Senator Nicole Burglar Mitchell. She did get time, but not much. Also, hear what everyone's saying about Trump's UN speech Tuesday. Then at 4:06, hear what Beer Ray's picked out on Why Not Wednesday with the Boulder Tap House. Then hear fellow Ox listeners' Why Nots. See you for Hot Talk with the Ox today from 2 to 5 on KBRF.
What's the ox say?
I'm Jerry Peterson, chaplain to the Otter Tail County Sheriff's Posse. Being a part of an all-volunteer Otter Tail County Sheriff's Posse can be a rewarding experience. Through the years, they have located missing persons and most of all provided security and traffic control for area events like East and West Otter Tail County Fairs and Phelps Mill Festival. We need new members. Anyone interested in joining the Otter Tail County Sheriff's Posse can call 218-298-8555. Retirees are welcome.
This is Craig Olson. Join me every Saturday morning at 8 for the Coaches Show, presented by the Viking Cafe on News Talk 1250 KBRF. Football, basketball, soccer, hockey, volleyball, swimming, cross country. I interview area coaches to discuss the season, recap the last game, and preview upcoming games. Catch the live show at 8 on Saturday morning on News Talk 1250 KBRF and the live stream and archived shows at KBRFradio.com. Just click on Sports Streaming. The Coaches Show, presented by the Viking Cafe.
This season, bring the whole family to see Irving Berlin's White Christmas. This smash hit musical based on the classic film returns by popular demand to delight you at Chanhassen dinner theaters. With loads of laughter and a stunning showcase of Irving Berlin songs, White Christmas is a celebration of the romance, friendship, and magic of the holidays. Make your plans today to see White Christmas. Visit chanhassendt.com.
Oh, yeah, try this again. News Talk 1250 KBRF. Listen anytime, any place with the Fergus Now app on your phone. Hit the forecast for today. Top it out around 76. The winds on the southeast at about 8 tonight. 56 for our low. 79 for tomorrow's high. 79 Friday. 72 Saturday. 79 on Sunday. Right now, Fergus Falls, fair skies 66. Winds on the south at 8. This is News Talk 1250. KBRF. Morning Talk brought to you this morning and every morning by our good friends over at Pioneer Care and over at Fergus Falls Monument Company.
Boy, you mentioned all those temperatures, and I got to tell you, oh my goodness, this week has been absolutely fabulous. No wind, sun. The lake has been like glass these evenings at the cabin. I know it's I'm on my last few weeks probably living out there, but wow, it has been just spectacular weather. So we still have green grass, and yeah, it feels like summer out there still.
Feels like summer. I'm going to have to take your word because I've been out of town.
Okay, well, it has been absolutely beautiful. We've been out on the pontoon trying to make as many as many more cruises as we can before it comes out in maybe a week or two. And want to get out and do some fall color. I think this weekend's going to be a good weekend for that. And I have learned my lesson, and I think I tell you this every year, that when John says, you know what, I think I'm going to take the pontoon out while it's still nice, because he's the guy who drives it across the lake and loads it up and all that kind of stuff. So I have learned my lesson. Not to say, oh, just one more week. Can we just have it one more week? Every time I've done that, the weather has turned south and it's gotten freezing cold, and he drives in, high waves and freezing cold temps. And I don't fight that anymore. It's just not worth it. So when he says it's time to go, it's time
to go.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how far I stick out my bottom lip in a serious pout. It just doesn't work anymore.
Well, my parents, when I used to pout, they'd say, if you stick it out any further, a bird might land on your lip.
That's exactly. Well, we were always told a bird might poop on your lip.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's what happened if you pouted, if you stuck out your bottom lip in a pout. That's what we would hear, that
they poop.
Yeah, you better be careful. Some bird will poop on that lip. So anyway. Okay, this is not good news. Here we're talking about beautiful weather, and then I'm going to bring you all down by saying that we're going to spend a little bit more to heat our homes this winter. This is according to the National Energy Assistance Directors Association. The group projects an average household energy bill will climb about 7.5%.
Oh.
Yeah. It says climb to about $976, and that's for the season. And I would say that sounds like a lot of money. But
yeah.
But when some of your heating bills might be over $200 a month, and we have that for 5 months, that's where you get that number, I guess. Anyway, natural gas users may see an increase of 8.4%.
Oh, I'm a natural gas user.
That's me too. Yep. While electricity customers could face, wait till you hear this, 10.2% jump. So there you go. Electricity prices rose 6.2% in August compared with last year. Natural gas prices are up 13.8%. So sorry about that. Winter is going to cost more. So I don't know how many long-range weather, predictions you hear, listen to, or even believe. But have you heard anything about this winter? Is it going to be colder, drier, longer?
I haven't heard all that much.
Me neither. And you know what? It doesn't matter, because we're going to take whatever God drops on us, right? And yeah. and have to run with it because that's just the way it is. So anyway, if maybe you want to stick a few bucks away here and there in anticipation of a more expensive winter with relation to heat. And then in the spring, if you haven't used it all, well, go shop and buy yourself something nice. Or save it for next year when it'll probably be even higher yet, I guess. You think we would have noticed it, though, with air conditioning, if it's up that much. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, my electrical bill's been up.
Has it?
Yeah.
Okay. I know that we have used air conditioning at the cabin more this year than ever before.
Yeah.
And I think there's been not so much heat, but a lot of humidity.
Yep.
And so we've used more electricity than a typical summer. But anyway, here's another place that this is not surprising that Americans are saving money, and they are slashing subscriptions, because not only are they trying to save some money, but a lot of these subscription things are on the rise as well. For those of you and us who are Amazon people, that annual number it used to be $99. Now it's $149. And I think that is the latest number, at least I hope so, that it hasn't gone up any more than that. But, those subscriptions, and if you subscribe to Netflix and, all of those others, Disney Plus and...
There's a lot of them.
Yeah. Well, Disney, so many people have bailed on Disney just because of what they believe and, all their woke principles. A lot of people have ditched them because of that. And then, of course, there's just sheer expense, regardless of what you think of Disney. You just can't afford to. I have Netflix. That's it. That's the only streaming one that I have. And I watch that a fair amount.
Yeah.
And then you get Prime with your Prime account.
Yeah.
So those are really the only two that we have. And I don't need any more. I don't need to have any more choices on TV. I mean, if you have those
There's a lot of choices.
Wow, I guess. Well, anyway, it says that Americans are dramatically reducing their subscription services as prices climb, and the average household dropped from 4 paid subscriptions just a year ago to just under 3. So they've dropped at least 1. It actually went from 4.1 to 2.8, if you want to get technical. Anyway, it's a 32% decline. So that's pretty steep in terms of being on the other end of that and being Netflix or, being one of those streaming companies. They say that further price increases would be unacceptable. Major streaming services have raised prices significantly, with Disney Plus and Hulu jumping from $7.99 to $9.99. Now, $2 doesn't sound like a lot, but let's say that you have 4 streaming services and all of them went up by $4.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'd start dropping.
It adds up for sure. So Americans still waste about $127 annually on subscriptions that they pay for that they don't even use. So be careful about that. Password sharing has dropped from 3.2 to 2.3 people per household due to company crackdown. So I know that I think on Netflix, I pay for 1 extra user because my grandkids use it.
Yeah.
And that's okay. I don't mind doing that. However, about almost half of us now say they are more likely to stream content illegally because of rising costs. However, that's getting a lot harder to do, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, some good news for you today. Out there right now, those Honeycrisp apples that you can buy, especially orchards that have Honeycrisp, oh, so good. And this is the time of year when you can pick those up, or you can go to the orchards and pick yourself. Well, here's a good reason to do it. A registered dietitian consumed 1 Honeycrisp apple daily for 7 days and documented noticeable health improvements.
Wow.
Well, I wouldn't have any trouble doing that. I love Honeycrisp apples. The professional reported more regular digestion and stable afternoon energy levels with less pronounced 3 p.m. fatigue, typically requiring maybe a cup of coffee or some kind of boost.
Yeah.
So that I think that says maybe that the sugar, the natural sugar occurring in a Honeycrisp apple just kind of takes you through the afternoon, and maybe it's one of those slow release kinds of sugar that
Well, it's a natural.
that keeps you stable. Yeah. So not a bad deal. Nearly, So they're saying that a Honeycrisp apple contains only 84 calories, so it's easy on the calories. 20 grams of carbohydrates, and of course it's got some fiber. The dietitian noted that apples provide sustained energy due to natural sugars balanced by fiber content, preventing your blood sugar from spiking or dropping. Apples contain antioxidants, which offer anti-inflammatory properties and immune support. Well, there's lots of good reasons.
There's a lot of good
to
reasons.
grab a Honeycrisp apple today. The experiment reinforced scientific evidence linking apple consumption to improve digestive health through both soluble and insoluble fiber, including pectins that act as like a prebiotic. So if you are taking pills that are a prebiotic, now you could just eat an apple.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, and get some enjoyment out of it. But I think of, inflammation, and I'm famous for drinking a lot of caffeine and not eating a lot of stuff during the day.
Yep.
And I do get those drops in blood sugar, and then I feel like I could eat the cupboard doors off the cabinets, But so I think I'm going to go get some Honeycrisp apples today.
Well, I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
I don't think so. Okay, this is no surprise, and maybe we've heard of it before and I just haven't been paying attention. But we hear a lot about, football being difficult for those people who play, even at the high school level, but certainly in the pros, about, brain injuries and that sort of thing. Well, now there's a study from Columbia University, and they studied about 350 amateur soccer players, and they found that, when they head the ball, you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Heading the ball causes brain damage and cognitive decline.
I believe it.
Well, why wouldn't it? That seems ridiculous.
I hated heading the ball, and because I was tall, they always thought
they wanted you to. Yeah. Well, they actually did brain scans, and they revealed greater white matter disruption among frequent headers, particularly in the region above the eye sockets. Players with more brain changes scored worse on thinking and memory tests. So, I don't know. No more headers in soccer?
Oh, they're not going to outlaw that. It's
no,
a base part of the game. It'd be like NHL outlawing fighting.
Yeah, true. Let's see what else we have for you. Mediterranean diet, good for so many things. Good for you really all the way through your body, I think. But now it says it may reduce gum disease, too.
Really?
So if you want to lose some weight, feel good, eat the stuff that's really good for you, oils and nuts and all those kinds of things. Now it's going to take care of your gums, too. So between that and Honeycrisp apples, I think we just solved all your health issues today, top to bottom. All right. Okay. So here is a chef. He happens to be a sushi chef.
Okay.
And this is in British Columbia. He has posted a sign, and he refuses to serve extra soy sauce to customers. Okay.
Oh.
Why? Here goes. Well, anyway, the restaurant's front door states this. I love this sign. We never serve extra soy sauce, rude people, intoxicated folks, and then they have the soy sauce line highlighted. So they don't serve drunks, rude people, or extra soy sauce. That's what it says on the door. Anyway, he's operated the restaurant for 7 years. He said he would not provide additional soy sauce even if customers offered him $1,000. I find that hard to believe, but whatever. Anyway, he said, soy sauce, it's not the cost, because it's the cheapest thing that I use in my craft. But the chef argues that extra soy sauce masks the sushi flavor. And he said, I've taken 2 decades to perfect the taste of my sushi, and I'm not going to let anybody ruin it with too much soy sauce. So it's about his
flavor, his pride.
Yeah. He said he compares excessive soy sauce consumption to drinking seawater, saying your kidney will be destroyed with the sodium. The policy has sparked local social media discussions about, customer service expectations. But anyway, he said it's not good for you. It ruins the taste of my sushi, and I'm not going to serve it at my restaurant.
No soy sauce for you.
No soy sauce, no serving rude or drunk people. I like that sign.
Could be a new Seinfeld episode.
It sure could.
The sushi.
Okay, so this is back. 300 swimmers take part in this swim in nearly 100 years. You know where they're swimming? In the Chicago River in Chicago. Would you ever get in that water?
No.
Yuck.
No.
Anyway, the mile-long loop marked a milestone for what was once among the world's most polluted waterways. Anyway.
Come on, get your penicillin shot before you dive in.
I guess 300 swimmers are taking part in the first official swim in nearly 100 years. Yuck. Anyway, the swim became possible due to decades of cleanup efforts following the 1970s Clean Water Act. Margaret Frisbee from Friends of the Chicago River said, until just a few years ago, people would have thought it would be outrageous to jump into it. The river now supports dozens of fish species and attracts beavers and turtles and now swimmers. So there you go.
Ew.
Ugh. Yuck.
Full wetsuit, goggles, scuba.
And penicillin.
And penicillin.
Yeah. And if you were, talk about a throwback and nostalgia, if you were a watcher of Baywatch.
Yep.
Yeah, well, Fox has ordered a 12-episode Baywatch reboot.
No.
For 26 and 27. Oh. Yep, the network ordered 12 episodes of the Lifeguard series Revival. Anyway, in its first run, Baywatch defined an entire area of beach life. Really, it was just scantily clad women running on the beach.
In slow motion.
In slow motion. That's really all it was. No cast members are currently attached to the project, but the original series debuted in 1989. And again, a lot of women, a lot of exposed skin, a lot of running on the beach in slow motion. That was Baywatch. And evidently...
The number one demographic was teenage boys.
Yeah, so evidently they want to watch a little bit more of that. So... I don't know if it will be the same. It's hard to believe that they're bringing back something that was...
Well, there's a kind of a knockoff, what is it called, like Water Rescue? There's some kind of knockoff Baywatch on right now. It's like out in Hawaii.
Yeah, I think so. Still scantily clad.
I don't know. I've never watched it.
I have. Well, I've only seen the previews. But, so, I don't know. I guess sex still sells.
Sex will always sell.
Yeah, I think so. And just in case you love Barry Manilow, you might want to grab some tickets because he announces a series of U.S. farewell performances, and he also has a new single. Barry Manilow, my goodness. Anyway, he's going to go through 9 U.S. cities. I don't think it even says where they're going here, but...
Minneapolis could be one.
Could be. He also has an ongoing Las Vegas residency, so you can get a cheap ticket to
Vegas and watch him there.
Vegas and take a watch there. But anyway, Barry Manilow says he's going to say so long. All right, coming up, is that the feel good? No, I'm teasing. I like Barry Manilow. Okay, coming up on 10 o'clock, that is going to wrap it up. Our show today and every day brought to us by Pioneer Care and by Fergus Monument Company. Have a great day.
This is Craig Olson. Join me every Saturday morning at 8 for the Coaches Show, presented by